Hello, I'm Tim Krul. Welcome to Norwich City Central.
Hello everybody, Lewis, Norwich City Central. I hope you're doing really well. It's good to be back. It's good to be back in front of the camera. It's been a while since I've done one of these match previews, and it's good to be back. Norwich City return to action, and it's going to be a very interesting month, this one in February. Lots of games, lots of midweek fixtures, and it's one of those months where if a team get lots of injuries, it could be really detrimental to their season with so many games in such a compact compact period of time. So let's hope for Norwich. Let's hope Norwich City don't get too many injuries and manage to stay fit and keep on fighting. And if they do that, they've got a great chance of going back to the Premier League. It's going to be another pivotal month for Norwich City, and let's hope they can do well coming up against Middlesbrough and Neil Warnock's Middlesbrough. I'd love to hear your thoughts down below. In this video, I'll be going through the injury news, predicted XI, and then previewing the game. But I'd love to hear for your thoughts down below in the comment section as another Norwich game approaches, and let's hope Norwich City can get a positive result. But on that point, yeah, there's so many games coming in this month. The fixtures are going to be relentless, and I think the season ends the first week of May, so it's essentially we've only got 3 months left of the season. We've still got half of the season to play, so there's going to be lots of games. And as I said, a team who gets promoted from here needs a good consistent run and not too many injuries. If they can do that, a team looks likely to get up. Norwich City are in a good position. We're 6 points away from the second place team, Swansea, so we've got a little bit of a cushion. But as we know in football, a couple of bad results and that gap shortens very quickly, particularly not so much when you're in a relegation battle because all the teams are quite bad, but in a promotion hunt, it's really important you don't go on a bad run. So it's important Norwich City continue their winning ways after a good win against Cardiff. In terms of how Norwich City are playing at the moment, yeah, we can write off the FA Cup game. It was a time to give Hernandez, Poeta, Kieran Dow some minutes, and yeah, it's just one of those games you have to move on from. Norwich's last league games, he had some really good results: a 2-1 away win at Cardiff and also a 2-0 home win against Bristol City. Both teams who are very good in this league. So Norwich City are in a really good place with players absolutely flying. In terms of the injury news, I think it's important to turn to that now. And the main issue going into this game was the striker crisis. Of course, Adam Idah has had a long-term injury and been suffering from COVID. Pukki's had an injury, and then Jordan Hugill got injured in our last game. In terms of Jordan Hugill's injury, Daniel Farke has revealed that it is a hamstring injury and he will be out for 4 weeks. So that is disappointing. Jordan Hugill, was really starting to get back into form and showing what he can do in a Norwich City shirt. So that was really disappointing. The good news, though, about Adam Idah and Teemu Pukki is they're back. Pukki's back, which is great to see. Pukki missing a few games for injury, and then Adam Idah as well. He's been so long since he's been playing in the side. I think his last game may have been in October, and Adam Idah is someone who's a really hot prospect. So it's really good now that he's going to be returning back to team training. Javi Quintilla is also back as well. Lucas Rupp is back. So lots of players coming back from injury. The main absentee is Kenny McLean, who's been absolutely brilliant. Some of his runs, his performance against Cardiff was absolutely excellent. So his injury, his situation with COVID is still developing, and Kenny McLean should be back, obviously, if he recovers from COVID quickly next week. So that's good to see. But the main player who I want to talk about is our new signing, Dimitris Giannoulis. He has got a work permit. He's in team training and he looks happy to be at Norwich, which is really good to see. And Jakob Sorensen's done excellently in that left-back role with Javi Quintilla having so many injury problems. He's really done so well, Sorensen. But Dimitris Giannoulis looks an absolute bargain. A lot of fans really rating him. I did a video on him and kind of his career. So check that out if you want to see it. That was a couple of weeks ago now. But on Dimitris Giannoulis, a lot of Greek fans saying he's their best left back. Liverpool signed a Greek left back, and a lot of fans saying Dimitris Giannoulis is better. So he looks a really exciting player, and he looks like he's going to fit Norwich's philosophy in terms of the style of play. The bombing runs down the wing, and likes to put crosses in the box, and someone who's a bit physical as well, which will help our situation. So, in terms of the injury news, lots of real good positives. Let's turn our attention to Middlesbrough, of course, managed by Neil Warnock, and he's one of those managers which people like. He's got a bit of humour, he's got a bit of character. But he is also one of those managers who I think fans can turn quite quickly. He reminds me of a Steve Bruce or a Chris Hughton even. He gets results sometimes, but when it's not going his way, and the style of play is awful, you're losing games, you do begin to turn on him. But Neil Warnock's a good manager. Middlesbrough are sitting in 7th in the table, so it's going to be a difficult game. But I mean, Norwich's last home game was against Bristol City, who were in 7th or 8th, and we absolutely smashed them. So it's important Norwich City do well, defend from set pieces. Middlesbrough don't score many goals, but they are very good at the back. So it's just going to be one of those games where Norwich have to be patient. Don't allow the Middlesbrough to have too many breakaways, too many counter-attacks, and Norwich should be fine. In terms of the team prediction, I'll leave the team prediction on screen now. I'd have Tim Krul in goal. Back four, Dimitri Giannoulis, Grant Hanley, Ben Gibson and Max Aarons. Those two fullbacks are pretty exciting, aren't they? I love those two fullbacks. Max Aarons, we know what he does, what he's all about. But I think it's now time to give Dimitri Giannoulis his debut and see what he's all about. And yeah, I'm really excited to see him play. And that partnership of Ben Gibson and Grant Hanley have been absolutely excellent this season. Norwich's style of play is all from building from the back, and their passing and their physicality on and off the ball is absolutely excellent. It'd be interesting to see how they do if we did go to the Premier League with a lot more defending. But yeah, Grant Hanley and Ben Gibson, fantastic additions to our centre-back area. In addition to this, in central defence and midfield, of course, Kenny McLean's out, which has been disappointed. I'd bring back Lucas Rupp. He's a player who started the season really well, but since then he's had injuries and he hasn't really been able to get back in the team. But this offers a good opportunity to see what Lucas Rupp can do. Alongside him, it's got to be Oliver Skipp. What a player he's been, and he's just been so good for Norwich. And in that front three, Cantwell on the you can play Cantwell on the left, but maybe for this game it's better to play Cantwell through the middle. He's been absolutely excellent. His performance against Cardiff was brilliant, and he's come back in the side and he's done really well. Emi Buendia on the right. We all know what Buendia can do, the best player in the division without a doubt. And you've got some issues. You can play Kieran Dow in there, you can play Josh Martin in there, but you've got two other wingers you can play, Ono Hernandez and Borjeta. And I think this is a great opportunity to bring back Ono Hernandez into the team and see what he can do. He's obviously had a long-term injury as well, as have so many of these Norwich City players. But I think it's now the opportunity to bring someone in like Ono Hernandez. And that left side of Ono Hernandez and Dimitri Giannoulis does excite me. Could play Mario Rancic, could play Kieran Dow, but I think it's a good opportunity to try and play a pacey winger and see what they can do. And up front, Teemu Pukki, there was a bit of uncertainty about the striking situation, as I said earlier on in the video, but Teemu Pukki's back, which is really exciting. We know what a great player Pukki is. And he hasn't necessarily been hitting his form at home. He has struggled at Carrow Road, but I'm sure he will get back to his scoring ways. He just needs to run of games and needs to, stop having these niggling injuries. On the bench, you've got Ademida, you've got Borjeta, who I still think can be a very good player for Norwich, and Mario Rancic as well, of course, is a super sub. So that team excites me. I'm definitely excited by a new arrival of our left back, Dimitri Giannoulis. And yeah, defensively we're really good, and we're creating enough chances and scoring enough goals to win games. This has been an excellent Norwich City season so far, but these games, these months when there's lots of games crammed into a month, can really make or break for a side. So if Norwich City don't get too many injuries and can just build that consistency, they'll be in a good place. I'd love to hear your thoughts down below as Norwich City face Middlesbrough. Stay well, stay safe. Thanks for watching, and I'll leave my socials in the description. I'll see you later.